Welcome back, my wonderful viewers. Still on probability, we are now on types of probability. Actually, there are many types of probability. There are many. So, but we are going to talk about these ones. The first one is what axiomatic was probability. This axiomatic probability is just another way of describing probability of what an event. As you can see there, it's just another way of describing the probability of what an event. Example, the probability of an event is greater than or equals to zero, denoted like this. Understand?
Knowing fully well that we have three assumptions of probability. The first one is that the probability of an event should not exceed 1. It can be equals to 1. Ranges from 0 to what 1. It must not exceed 1. Second one is that the sample space must be equals to what? The outcome of the sample space must be equals to what? 1. And the third one, that two mutually exclusive events. If you have P, the probability of event 1 union event what 2, that is equals to probability of event 1 plus probability of what event 2.
Event. Now, subjective probability. What is this subjective probability? It is defined as what? Individual experience or individual perspective about an event that will occur. You understand? Individuals' perspective, how we see something that will do what occur without any what calculation. Understand? For example, they are playing Man U and Chelsea ball now. Somebody will just say that Man U will win the ball because of he have seen that Man U performed well in their last match, something like that. So it is called what subjective probability. Let's read from the board. Subjective probability is a type of probability derived from an individual personal judgment. You understand? It's individual's what personal what judgment or own experience about whether a specific outcome is likely to do what occur. It contains no formal calculation and only reflects the subject's opinion and past experiences. So that's about what subjective was probability. You understand? It's based on that individual perspective about the likelihood of that event to do what happen. Now, theoretical what probability. Now, what is this theoretical probability? Theoretical probability is based on one's knowledge. It solely rely on what knowledge. You understand? Maybe you know the sample space. Because you know the sample space, theoretical probability. You just say, okay, for example, if I have a coin, you understand? I throw the coin. Theoretical probability is just trying to tell us that you know that a coin have what head and what a tail. You just say that maybe the head will come out or the tail will come out. You understand? So it's based on your knowledge that tail will come out or head will come out. You understand? So that's theoretical probability. Or you have a die. You understand? You throw it. You know that you either obtain um one or two or any of the outcomes. You understand? You're going to obtain any number from there. You might obtain one, two, three. You understand? All over the sample space is what? Six. You understand? So it will be one all over six. So you know that when you throw this thing, you are going to obtain either number one or two. So let's read from the board. Theoretical probability. A theoretical probability refers to the chance of an event happening based solely on knowledge. You understand? That you know that this thing is this. You get? It is calculated by dividing the number of favorable outcome over the total possible outcome. That's the number of what favorable what outcome over the number of what possible over the total possible what outcome. If the condition don't change, the theoretical probability will remain constant. So let's go to experimental probability. Now, what is this experimental probability? It is a type of probability where you perform what experiments. You just don't assume. You understand? You perform series of what experiments to know true that this event will do what happen. You understand? So that's what experimental probability. You need to do what perform some what experiments, do some calculations, solve it, and get your what values. So we are still going to bring examples of all these things. So experimental probability, and experimental probability is the chance of an event occurring based on experiments conducted or data collected. Now conditional probability is known as the possibility of an event or outcome happening based on the existence of a previous event or what outcome. Now the formula for this conditional probability or conditional probability, that the probability of event A will occur, given that probability of B have done what occurred.
is equals to probability of A intercept B, then all over probability of B.
So we are going to take some this thing examples to show you when a probability is subjective, when they are theoretical, experimental, and all this. These are some examples that will help us to know whether a probability is theoretical, subjective, or otherwise. So, or the rest. A lecturer speaking to a class concludes that the whole class, that's 100% of the class of the students, have what laptop. So, is this thing theoretical, or is it empirical, or is it subjective? A lecturer speaking to a class concludes. So he have concluded in his mind. So he just assume or something like that. So this thing is what subjective. It is what subjective probability. So it is what subjective because he does what he did what he just assumed. He concludes. You understand? It depends on what individual what prediction. You understand? So your chances of rolling less than 4 with a single die is what 50%. This is what theoretical. This is what theoretical. Now a grandmother talks to his grandsons and tell them that the rain is coming because his nails are hurting. This is simply what subjective because he's just predicting on his own, on her own this thing mind, that anytime her leg hurts her, the rain will do what come, start coming, something like that. We took a coin and flip it in it 20 times. The result was 14/20 tails and 6/20 heads. That means experiment is being what carried out here. So it is what experimental. Experimental. Now what is your score? Okay, I saw this thing because Man City and Wolf and Man City played ball today. So what is your score? That's your prediction between Wolf and Man City. So this thing is what subjective probability because it is not what you um predict that I will do what predict. So subjective probability. So that's it. Thank you for watching and may God bless you. Expect more videos on what probabilities. Thank you.